Hello and welcome to Sue Rogers Unedited. I am Sue Rogers. Trunk or treat. We're going to get into it. You guys know what trunk or treat is, right? So for Halloween, instead of taking your kids trick or treating, you take them to whatever facility, whatever group has organized a parking lot full of people's cars, decorated all themed, and you just trick or treat each car instead of going house to house. I don't really understand the premise of why this started. Like, is it safer to go to a parking lot instead of walking around a neighborhood? Or are people just lazy and don't want to take their kids trekking out over miles over a neighborhood and just want to be lazy asses and walk around a parking lot? I don't know. But what I do know, I'm going to tell you my real issue with trunk or treat. And it's been a real issue of mine since the very first time I heard about this concept. Because as a child of the 80s and 90s, we were always told to never take candy from a stranger in their car. Let me say that one more time. I was always taught as a child to never take candy from a stranger in their car. What is trunk or treat? You go take candy from a stranger out of their car. What? Blew my mind the first time I heard about this. And my kids were little at the time. And to this day, I have never participated in a trunk or treat, especially with my kids when they were little, because you're not supposed to take candy from fucking strangers in their cars. You can feel my passion behind this topic, right? I mean, you're completely contradicting what I was taught. And what my other original thought was that what pedophile that belongs to the church decided they wanted to brain warp all these kids into thinking that it was a great idea to take candy from strangers out of their cars so they could get them in their cars. I don't know. I hope you're laughing at the ridiculousness of this because it is so ridiculous that this is even a thing, right? And let's not just, like, I'm not just assuming that there's a bunch of people at churches that are pedophiles that decided they wanted to flip the script and make it seem okay to take candy from strangers in their cars. But you guys, there's a lot of organizations that have been getting a lot of bad rap for being pedophiles. And not just religious organizations. There's all kinds of stuff out there. And if you haven't gone down those rabbit holes of what's really going on with sex trafficking and pedophiles and the likes, it is a deep, dark hole to go down. But trunk or treat. I really don't have much to say more about it, so this is going to be probably my shortest podcast ever. But it's just to point out how stupid trunk or treat really is. I don't care if you think it's convenient for you to not have to walk around very far, because does the convenience really outweigh the potential harm of teaching kids that it's okay to take candy from strangers in their car? Not that going door to door and knocking on strangers' houses to say a magic word and get candy is really any better, because really nobody should be eating all that shitty candy anyways. It's creating more of a problem because in my sugar rants, I talk about how sugar basically is a drug. So you're basically also teaching kids to go door to door to get candy, which lights their brain on this crazy high. and then they want to go do some more because then they get that dopamine hit from all the sugar and their brain's firing all these sensors from all the sugar. All right, I digress. Trunk or treat. It's bullshit. Don't do it. Don't participate in it. Don't support it. Don't take your kids to it. Either do some good old-fashioned freaking trick-or-treating or just don't do it at all. Have a party and have a bunch of people come over and hang out and get together and wear costumes if you want to and do it that way instead. But trunk or treat, totally bogus. Hope you found some of that entertaining. Man, I love to laugh and I love things that are ridiculous and I love pointing them out. So hopefully you do too, because that's what a lot of this podcast is also about. Like, subscribe, share. If you were entertained at all, pass it along to a friend who might find this funny or even ridiculous in itself. We're on YouTube, Anchor, Spotify. Go over, check out the website, www.balancedaylife.com, and Instagram and Facebook @balancedaylife. And get ready for that trunk or treat season. And if anything, I ruined it for you. And now every time you see one, it's going to make you laugh. Have a good one, guys.